Hello there, welcome to another talk, and I'm gonna just gonna turn this down ever so slightly. That's better. Yeah, welcome to another talk, and this talk is called Narcissism and Borderline Personality Disorder is the Core Issues on Planet Earth. And that is the core issues on planet Earth. Just a minute, I'm just going to stick a charger in my computer. It's a iPad I've got, a tablet iPad thing. Right, this is what I use for my talks. You've probably seen my Apple Mac computer in my bedroom. I use that just for, not just for show, but I go in it as well to like watch YouTube or something. But yeah, the tablet is what I use for most things during the day. But yeah, narcissism and borderline personality disorder is the core issues on planet Earth. And that is true. You know, and this is why I'm always saying to work with the inner narcissist. The inner narcissist, I think I might have made that up myself. I don't think I'd heard it anywhere. And the inner narcissist is the inner ego. The inner ego is the inner narcissist. Right? It's that inner negative part of yourself that gets triggered. It's that inner narcissist that sees the narcissist in another. Because what we see in the other is what's within us. Everything is a mirror back at us. And this is already in psychology, it's called shadow work. And that is where you pay attention to the triggers. Yes, you have a gut instinct, but reality is always dishing at you what you are. Because think about it. You can only perceive the external world or people in the way that you inner perceive yourself. Right? When I see people, I don't see people. I see infinite consciousness having an experience. That's because that's now my inner perception of me. I had an unexpected spiritual awakening just under 10 years ago, if you're new to my stuff. And ever since then, I went through a series of all these different big spiritual awakenings. I get big awakenings all the time. But it started from the big awakening at the age of 24. I'm 34 this year. And I discovered about narcissism on YouTube, and I started to watch a few videos, and I started to realise that this is what I used to be. I think that I was going down that path. So this is why I've got insight into narcissistic behaviour, and I rarely get triggered now because the spiritual awakening showed me to pay attention to it. Then years later I discovered this was actually called shadow work. But yeah, my experience was all myself. I just had enough one day and went within. I reached a point where I had to make a decision. And that's why I love myself now. That's why I adore myself now, because I learnt about myself then. I didn't think I had much about myself before. I didn't think I had much. I looked a lot better when I was in my early 20s. That was my ego. Oh, I look better than everyone else. And, but now it's all about what's within me. Because I realise now that I've got a beautiful soul. And that goes on forever. You see? That's how you defeat the inner narcissist. And narcissism and borderline personality disorder, what's that? Well, it begins from narcissism. All begins from insecure emotions. And then it develops into narcissism, a full-blown narcissist, and then it can go to borderline personality disorder. And it can be something as little as not being loved enough when you're a kid. And then what the kid does is they ask the parents, you did this to me, but they don't want to, they say something like, oh, no, we didn't do anything to you. That's why they're so, like John Lennon said in the song, "You're so crazy you can't follow their rules." in the Working Class Hero song. And that's not just with school, that's with life, that's with parents, John Lennon also once said that 99% of the parents that are alive are half dead. That's why the only father I listen to, and mother, I only listen to Gaia, which is in the heart, and I only listen to the Father within me. The Father meaning the Lord, which is within everyone. Within everyone is the Father and Mother. The Father is the God within us, and the source is what I call Gaia, which is the source creator, female, feminine type of power. But it's within the heart. So your heart chakra holds all the blockages, all the problems that's making you narcissistic, which bringing out your insecurities. So what you have to do is you have to open your heart as much as you can. That's how you protect yourself, and that's how you heal yourself. You open your heart as much as possible. Whenever you can actually heal other people. If you direct your heart chakra to other people's heart chakra, you can actually feel their blockages, and you can feel their because all the triggers and all insecurities is within the heart chakra, and that blocks all the other chakras. If there's problems within the heart chakra, you won't eat right. That affects the stomach chakra. Sexual problems as well. Sexual problems is related to fear, insecurity, throat chakra, not speaking your truth. So it's all related to, it begins from the heart. The heart is the core of who you are. And that's why, and that is the savior to who you are. It was the heart that saved me. No one cared when I could have committed suicide, and no would have said, oh, what a shame, but they didn't really care. I learned that no one cares about you. The only person that cares about you is yourself. Right? I was practically begging on my knees for someone to save me, and it didn't happen. It doesn't exist. You have to save yourself. I've said this before. Last year I was really proud of myself. Other people said to me they were proud of me as well. I contacted 2 women from my past from years ago, and I'm still proud that I did that. Because I reached a point where I didn't hold any negative emotions towards anybody. I don't hold any bad feelings towards anybody. Even women that might not feel anything from me anymore from my past, I'm okay with that now. Because once you learn to love yourself, that is the only kind of love that matters. Because think about it, if you're with someone, even if it's a really great situation, chances are they might die at some point. People do die. And you're going to be on your own. I used to watch documentaries with older people, and this one older guy I watched in this documentary on YouTube, his wife died and he was just cracking up. So we've got to learn to be happy alone, right? Because if you can be happy alone, then that means you'll have everlasting happiness. And that's the cure to this borderline personality disorder and narcissism. When you look at these politicians and, these people that run the world with COVID and everything, if COVID-19 did exist, they've used it to the maximum to control us, because that's what these people are. They're very narcissistic, very controlling. I just, because I've had this awakening for about 10 years, I don't hold any grudges. I forgive everybody. Last week I've just felt this beautiful energy of peace, where I'm not holding anything negative. Like I said a moment ago, that's why I was able to contact these women last year. Because it was I was just sitting down by myself, doing a kind of mindfulness meditation. And something within me was just, obviously the higher part of me was saying, contact these 2 women. I was ready to do it. 2 women that I really liked. But because I wasn't wanting anything from them, because I didn't want anything back in return, I was able to try and make peace with them. And I'm glad I did that. But that's only because I healed what was within me. But them 2 women, they didn't save me. You see, it was, like I said before, only you can save yourself. So you have to, this looking for a separate person or a lover to save you or a new baby or something. These things are temporary happiness. But it's not the real happiness. The real happiness is found within yourself. And then once you start working on that, you heal this narcissism. Like I've got a page on my website called Narcissism and How to Heal It. And that's what it's all about. Psychiatrists a lot of time bring narcissists down, but they're not seeing it. That's their inner narcissist. Like I said, I might have created that terminology all by myself. But it's the inner ego in the narcissist that sees it in the other. You see, reality, the universe is mirroring back at you where you need to heal. That's what it's doing. It's a beautiful thing. And I remember being in a cafe a few years after my spiritual awakening, and it was all me. I was looking at everyone thinking, they're all me, aren't they? Because after the spiritual awakening, my perception started to change. And like everything is just one endless thing. I watched this guy on YouTube who's a medium. And he brings through dead people, obviously. And that's what they say a lot of time when they come through, that reality is just one thing. But I think the spirits he comes through are in heaven. You got different parts of the spirit world. Not everyone goes to heaven. Heaven is a very high vibrational place that actually you connect with through your heart, so you can get there in life as well. And if you get there in life, then the chances are you'll get there when you die. And because we've got people from past lives as well that we loved and everything, and they're all there. But it's when we create the heaven within ourselves, that's when we find the peace, and that's when we heal this narcissism and borderline personality disorder. This is the cure for all mental illness. Instead of giving people tablets, I mean, that might work short term, but it should be about teaching people to align themselves with Gaia, which is this female, feminine, divine source. Why do you think God, or source, which is this feminine power, why do you think they made it so the woman would give birth? Because the woman is the closest representation of source, female. It doesn't mean men are lower, because the source would have created the men to complement this feminine power. That's why it's very important that men spiritually awaken and heal their own inner narcissism, so the men can complement the women and vice versa. Because then what you create a really happy planet. That's what the systems try to stop. This evil, narcissistic, David Icke calls them reptilians. I'm not going to say that, I don't know. That's too much for some people, but they're trying, these evil people, they probably behave like reptiles, but they don't want an awakening. The core system, if you want to know what the system is, look at the royal family, the British royal family. The Queen has to ask, you have to ask the Queen's permission to become Prime Minister. The Queen, they're into Freemasonry. Freemasonry is connected to Illuminati, the same symbols. These people are narcissistic. Satan, all the narcissistic ways comes from Satanism. Satanism is very weak. Satanism is about needing power from other people. So it's actually very weak. And it's the same mentality with narcissists. So once you go within and you find that eternal happiness, that eternal joy, that's the real power. That's the real God. That's this feminine power, divine power I'm talking about. And that's how we heal these core issues on the planet, which is narcissism and borderline personality disorder, which are related and one. And the solution is within your heart. And that's how you protect yourself, by opening your heart as much as possible. And I'm just going to leave it there. For latest updates and talks and news and research and songs as well, I sing, please visit my website at www.lovelikefamily.com.